Time now for sports on 104.7 The Cave. Here's Ned Reynolds.
Mike, the intern, Ned Reynolds, back in the studio. Halfway point of the week. The basketball Bears got a chance to kick off their regular season yesterday. Your thoughts on the team so far?
I think at halftime, Macanjo Martin had a little come to Naismith meeting with his kids.
Is that what you call it these days?
We have to change the name on that just a little bit. But hey, this is how you play the game, guys. Get out there and play, because the Bears trailed Missouri Southern from Joplin, a Division II team, 43-40 at halftime. Second stanza, different story. Bears came out firing, scored 48 points, held Southern to 27, and Missouri State wins the game by a score of 88-70, and that really is the way it should have been. Michael Osabansu had 22 points to lead the Bears. Under 2,000 fans at the game. That's also not acceptable, but it's early in the season, lots going on. So hopefully with the Bears, and if hopefully they'll continue to win, things will get a whole lot better. Bears win their opener, 88-70.
Feeling pretty good about this year? Think we're going to have a good year?
It's a different team from what it has been. It's new. Of course, every year is new for these guys with the transfer portal and nil and all that sort of thing. But I think there's some talent on this ball club, but how they shape up in a new conference, that remains to be seen.
I'm pretty happy that the Kansas City Royals re-signed Salvi. We got 2 more years with him, man.
He does. Now, Salvi had the option in this contract. He could have opted out, but he decided to stay and signed for 2 more years with 2-year extensions, $25 million. That's, well, what would you say, about $13 million a year, which is pretty good. Salvi doesn't need the money. Heck, he's saved enough of it. 9-time All-Star. He's the captain of the Royals. He's comfortable there, likes to play there. Did hit 30 home runs last year and had 100 RBIs. He is a team leader, and with a young ball club like Kansas City and a team that's going to be greatly improved, in my opinion, next year, I do feel that Salvi Perez is one of the key instruments in that, then the Royals agree.
In that locker room especially, and I agree. And if you look at other teams that have had guys like him on the team, and when you lose them, St. Louis, Yachty, you can see what it does to the team. And it's sometimes not just player ability, it's just team leadership, and that goes a long way in that game. We got the Bears looking really good this year, new conference. I know that there's still no chance of a bowl game, but I think some of us are starting to kind of hold out hope that maybe one of those situations, these guys get one. We'll see.
Well, they have to have 6 victories to do that, because they are not eligible to play in the bowl game. But be that as it may, there is a slim chance, but we don't even need to get into that. The Bears do have a monumental task in front of them. Go to Lynchburg, Virginia on Saturday, and it's a Saturday noontime game, our time, and they play Liberty. Now, Liberty is the kind of the New York Yankees of Conference USA. They have won. They've been to a big bowl game. They've been to the Fiesta Bowl, played Oregon a couple of years ago as one of the less than headline teams to see what they can do with the big time. It didn't turn out very well, but be that as it may, Liberty can play. They're coming off a monstrous victory over Delaware, 59-30, I think the final score was. Liberty can score. The Bears are a 7.5-point underdog going into this one in Lynchburg. I wouldn't sell Missouri State short. The Bears can play the game. They know what to do. They have come together, and I think they give Liberty a tough time. Winning might be another story, but we will see what happens.
First official college football rankings are out now, and I agree. I personally think the list is a good, strong list. What do you think?
Well, they are all very good teams. And what the Bowl Committee does, and these are the official rankings now, of course, they'll go every week right up until the end of the season, and things will change markedly. But they rank, they being the committee, the top 25 teams, because you would figure that these 25 of those teams are going to be in major bowl games. Now, not the major, not the playoff games, but in certainly lucrative ones, to say the least. The top 4 listed get bye weeks when it comes to the playoffs. They all have to play in the playoffs, but they automatically go to the second round. Top teams, Ohio State, as expected. Number 2 is Indiana, the Hoosiers. What is this? Indiana's a basketball school, and here they are, number 2 in the bowl rankings? Oh my. That's a big deal, and this started coming on with Signetti coming over as a coach from James Madison. Texas A&M is number 3. They play Missouri on Saturday. Alabama is number 4. Those 4 would get byes if the season ended today. but it doesn't end today. There are many more weeks to go. So it's going to be extremely interesting to see what happens here.
And speaking of Texas A&M taking on the Tigers, they're in the top 25, listed at 22. And obviously they've got 2 losses on the season, but if they can somehow pull off a miracle this weekend, that changes the picture just right out the gate.
It does, but whether or not it puts them in the top 12, the top 12 are the ones who make the national championship playoffs. Whether or not it does that, I don't know. But Missouri is a substantial underdog against Texas A&M still. If the playoffs, not if, they do begin on December the 19th. This is early for them now. They're getting ready for next year when it expands probably to 16 teams, but be that as it may, the first of the playoff games will be December the 19th. That's the first one. The next 3 will be the next day, December the 20th. And if they were to start now, the first one would be Georgia against Memphis. Memphis would be number 12. Ole Miss would play Virginia. Brigham Young would tackle Notre Dame, interesting ball game. And Texas Tech would square off against Oregon. They would be the first 4 games. And then from there on in, the winners get to the next round, and that's when the teams that have the bye get back into the action. It's a championship picture that you can't deny. It's decided on the field.
It's going to be a lot of fun, but that means these next few weeks will be a lot of fun watching as we get closer and closer to that moment. We didn't get a chance to talk about the trades in the NFL. Anything that surprised you yesterday?
Yeah, the New York Mets gutted New York Jets, I should say, gutted their team. They just took it away. Yeah. They're 1-7 on the year. They say, hey, what's the use? Let's get some draft picks. So Sauce Gardner and the Quinnen Williams kid. Quinnen Williams is the big deal. He goes to the Dallas Cowboys. Quinnen Williams was All-American at Alabama. He's a big, hard-hitting lineman. And Sauce Gardner, who is from Boise State, does a lot of talking in the backfield. I really wonder how good he is, but he's going to ply his trade with another team now, Jacksonville. So you get into a situation now where your team is not going to be relevant anymore. So how many fans show up? Well, they will. The New York Jets will still field a team, but this is interesting what they've done in the trade. It
seemed like the Chiefs weren't willing to go lower than a 4th round for Brees, and he's still a Jet. I feel horrible for him because that sucks. All your boys are leaving, and then you got to stay there. The other thing, back to the Williams trade, you can see teams that have a really good game plan, i.e. the Indianapolis Colts, and they're all in. They're doing everything they can to make a run. But then you see the Cowboys get rid of Parsons, but then in the same almost few months later go after Quinnen Williams, which doesn't make any sense to me. You were willing to give up Parsons but go after this guy.
But, Mike, what you don't know is what happens within the locker room.
Very true. Very true. But still, I don't know, man. Crazy. Let's go back to college basketball.
Yeah, there were quite a few games last night. Then I wanted to see the national champion for the women play because I'm not a fan. I am a fan of Gino Auriemma. I think he's a wonderful coach, and he coaches, of course, Connecticut has for the last 37 years. They played Louisville, and Connecticut was up by as many as 30 points at one time. They win the game, they being UConn, 79-66 over a pretty good Louisville team. But I did notice in watching the game, this is a different Connecticut team from what it has been. They are not a great perimeter shooting team. They had been when Paige Beckers and some of these other great All-Americas were on the team. They did have vulnerability shooting from outside. But inside, they are big and strong and hostile. They took rebound after rebound away from Louisville, and that's how they got their big win. UConn, the champions, get the first-round win. Purdue, which is number 1 among the men, just blasted Evansville from the Missouri Valley Conference, 82-51. Kentucky and Nicholls State out of Thibodaux, Louisiana played, and Kentucky won it 77-51. The Duke Blue Devils, folks, are pretty doggone good. They played Texas, beat them 75-60. And to the west of us, Oklahoma State and Oral Roberts, kind of a surrounding Tulsa game, and Oklahoma State's Cowboys, while they're having a really poor year in football, they look like they're pretty good in basketball, 95-71 over ORU.
Ned, you have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you tomorrow.